Hi there. We're going to take a look at performing a multiple regression statistical test in SPSS. So to begin with, let's sort of look at the regression equation and what it all means. And here you can see a representation of the regression formula. Y stands for the dependent variable of the regression. M is the slope of the regression, and x1, x2, x3, those represent the independent variables depending on how many you have for your multiple regression, and B is the constant, basically where the line crosses Y. Also, you should remember that for a multiple regression or for regression equation, you should be using continuous data, which is ratio or interval data, for both your independent variables and dependent variable. Also, please note that in a multiple regression or in regression analysis, independent variables are actually referred to as predictors, as well as dependent variables are referred to as criterion variables. And so for our analysis, we're going to include age, years of education, and credit card debt as our predictor variables on household income, which will be our dependent variables. Okay, so we have a pretty large data set with lots of variables included. People were given a survey to answer based on various demographic questions. And you can see it has nominal, ordinal, scale variables, and we're going to select the age, the years of education, household income, and credit card debt for our analysis. So select Analyze, and then scroll down to Regression, and then select Linear. Oops, let's hit Reset. Okay, and so in the dependent box, we want to put our dependent variable, which was household income. And then for our predictor variables, we're going to put them into the next box. So we're going to use age, and you'll notice the little ruler, which in SPSS indicates that it's a continuous data, or as it refers to it as scale data. And we'll select the little arrow to push it into that box, years of education, and then let's see, credit card debt. All right, and then we're going to select statistics, and we're going to select confidence intervals, R-squared, change, and descriptives, and select continue. And just for the fun of it, let's take a look at what this looks like visually. So we'll put our dependent variable in the y-axis and the z predictor variables into the x-axis, and click continue so we can get a chart. And for our analysis, we're just going to use the regular linear regression. If this would allow you to use other types of regression models, but ours is just going to be the standard. And so we'll select OK. And now you can see we have the first box represents the descriptive statistics with our variables means and standard deviations, as well as the number of respondents to this survey. And we had 80 people and various means, and then we are given a correlations box, which represents the Pearson product moment correlations. And you can see here that our variables, at least for years of education and credit card debt, are showing a significant effect with compared to household income. So that's promising. To find out whether our F statistic is significant, we need to scroll down to the ANOVA box, and we do see here that our F statistic is significant with it less than 0.001. And this box also provides our F statistic, our mean square values, our degrees of freedom, and sum of squares. And to look at our regression coefficients, we will go down to the coefficients box, which give us our t-values as well as whether or not they are significant, and our standardized coefficients scores. And you can see here also the age in years was not significant, but the years of education and credit card debt was. So to find out just how strong the relationship that exists here is, we would need to look at the R squared. And you can see here that 63% of the variance in these predictor variables can account for how much is affecting the household income. So that's a pretty strong relationship. So once you get your analysis, you oftentimes will put your outcomes into writing, and so in order to write this in APA format, it would look a little like this. Results of the multiple linear regression indicated that there was a significant effect between years of education and credit card debt on household income. And here you can see the F statistic with the degrees of freedom, the p-value, and this all came from that ANOVA box right here. So let's take a look at that. So you have the degrees of freedom, the F statistic, and the significance value, and then it gives the R squared value, and that again was found right up here in the model summary box. And then if it finishes off by giving the significant results, the T and the p-value for the years of education and credit card debt in thousands, which you can find here and here. And so it says the individual predictors were examined further and indicated that years of education with the t-value was significant, and credit card debt was also significant predictors in the model. And then you do want to mention anything else you might have included in the model, even if it was significant. And so we went ahead and mentioned that there was no significant effect for age and household income. And that's how you would run a multiple regression in SPSS and write the APA format results. All right, catch you later.